What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to NFL Turf Talk, streaming to you guys live here on DSM Media's YouTube and Twitter channels. If you're new to the channel, head on over to @DSM_media on Twitter. Hit that follow button. We greatly appreciate it. And while you're on the page, check out the link tree in our bio to take you to every social media platform we are available on. And if you guys want to be interactive on tonight's show, again, head on over to the YouTube channel specifically. Like this video, comment, subscribe. It's the best way to get your comments pulled up. As always, Scotty, we have trouble with StreamYard. So now we're not streaming live on Facebook tonight because there was issues setting the stream up. So if you guys want to be interactive throughout tonight's show, head on over to the YouTube channel specifically. I am one half of your host, Dylan Davis. You can find me on Twitter at DylanJD98. To my right, my faithful co-host, Scotty. You can find him on Twitter at Scotty Drowned. What's going on?
Not much, man. Not much. Just getting through my Monday. Been waiting all day, obviously, for some Monday Night Football. So Mondays with Monday Night Football and your team's playing, it's always a little different. But luckily, I didn't have I didn't have any meetings today, so I got to keep to myself a little bit, which is always nice on game day and kind of just getting the right frame of mind to watch the Birds play. But I'm excited for tonight. I'm excited about what happened yesterday. And I'm ready to talk about it as well, man.
Yeah, man. So normally on this Monday edition, we would be starting with an Eagles breakdown. But like you said, since the Birds play tonight at the link against the Washington Commanders, we will be talking about that game at 7 p.m. here on DSM Media's YouTube channel for DSM Pregame Live. So come hang out with us for some Eagles talk then. But for tonight's show here on Turf Talk, we're going to just be breaking down yesterday's Sunday slate and kind of implications as we hit, we're double digits now, Scotty, into the weeks here of the NFL season. And it doesn't feel that long ago that we were getting ready for week 1 and football was back, and you snap your fingers and boom, here we are heading into week 11 in a couple hours. So there were a lot of games to be played yesterday. But there's just a few I want to highlight. You obviously have possibly one of the best regular season games ever in Minnesota and Buffalo. You have Tom Brady winning 2 straight with the win in Germany over Seattle. You have the Dallas Cowboys blowing a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter to lose to Aaron Rodgers and the Packers in overtime. And then you have Jeff Saturday, the storyline of the week. Jeff Saturday starts off his interim head coaching responsibilities 1-0 over Josh McDaniels and the Vegas Raiders. And yes, we are, Phil. That's exactly what we're rocking tonight. A little bit different of a vibe. But Scotty, those are the games that really stuck out to me. I don't know about you, but the other games were either clunkers or kind of saw it coming, like Kansas City beating Jacksonville, don't really care. The Giants beating the Texans, couldn't care less. Shout out to the Saints for continuing to stack up the numbers in the loss column for us Eagles fans. But I think those were the 4 games that I'm looking to highlight here tonight.
Fair enough. I thought the Detroit-Chicago game was interesting nonetheless, but definitely no storylines to follow.
Yeah.
Other than I'm starting to like Justin Fields, man. That was really the only thing I wanted to get at with that game. But yeah, it was entertaining nonetheless. It was high scoring, and I had a few bets going live on that. But no, I feel you on the 4 main games as far as playoff implications for sure.
So I guess let's start with the 1 o'clock slate, right? And let's start with that Minnesota and Buffalo game. So Buffalo essentially they got down 7-0 early, if my memory serves me correct. And then they basically took the lead for the rest of the game up until the fourth quarter. And they had literally no answer for Justin Jefferson, which it's funny. I'm going to somehow find a way to bring the Eagles into these conversations throughout today's show, because you and I have heard a lot about, Kirk Cousins and that one who beat the Vikings in week 2, Scotty, but yet the Eagles haven't played anybody, right? So I'll find a way to bring them into this conversation, but Justin Jefferson possibly has the greatest catch of all time on 4th and long, followed by the game-winning touchdown ultimately, followed by Josh Allen, coming up with a stop, and then Josh Allen fumbling a quarterback sneak to ice the game on their own goal line. So much happened throughout the course of this game. What's your takeaway from it? Does it make you believe more so in Minnesota going forward, or is it just kind of the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen underwhelming you?
You could look at it from both angles for sure. I can see both sides of it. Overall, I'm more impressed with Minnesota Vikings thoroughly. This is their best win of the season by far, and it came in a way that they've kind of been winning all season, right? Comebacks in the second half, and that does build character as well. Getting through those clutch moments, making those big plays. Justin Jefferson obviously learning, getting that experience in the moment. Buffalo, I can also see it from that perspective. It was an underwhelming, performance by Buffalo, by Josh Allen specifically. And with that being said, I think that speaks more to why that's such an impressive win, is because I do think highly of Buffalo. I looked at them as the Super Bowl favorite coming into this season, and we look now, they have 2 losses in a row. Josh Allen last 3 games, 3 passing touchdowns, 6 interceptions. You got people in national media asking if Josh Allen is a problem. He went from MVP candidate to now, is he the problem with the Bills? And he's making crucial mistakes in crucial moments, which is always a concern. And, outside of the 2 regular season games against Kansas City the last 2 seasons, it seems like every single time Buffalo gets in these big moments, they blow it, right? In the playoffs, and again, in big games, if it's not Kansas City, they blow it. They've lost to the Dolphins. They've lost to the Jets that are trying to fight for a playoff spot. And now they've lost to the Minnesota Vikings that only have 1 loss. Nonetheless, you had to lead the entire game. You should have won that game. And that's one that they're going to regret, right? They're going to say that that's like a chip on their shoulder, but that's really just a game you kind of blew there, right? If you're looking at it from Buffalo perspective.
Miss me with the chip on your shoulder, bounce back, rah kind of stuff, man. This is an indictment on the starting quarterback. This is an indictment on Josh Allen. Okay, yeah. This Buffalo Bills team, who coming out of that week against Kansas City a few weeks back, were viewed as the top dog in the NFL, right? You have the Eagles that are undefeated, but so people bought into Buffalo way more as a Super Bowl threat than Philly coming out of the NFC. I think you could agree there, probably.
Yeah.
And since then, he has done nothing but crap the bed. You lose 2 straight. And someone tweeted about, I think it was, I'm not even going to give the guy the recognition on the show, but I quote tweeted it. You can check my Twitter for it. But he essentially said after the Bills loss, well, Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills play high quarterback talent more so than the Eagles do. My man, the Buffalo Bills just lost to Zach Wilson and Kirk Cousins, who you make a mockery of week in and week out, correct? They are now 3rd in their division. They are 3rd in the AFC East, Scotty. I know it's, next week they could jump back to 1st, but for the time being, 10 weeks in, they are 3rd in the division. And I don't want to come across as I'm insulting him, because this is going to sound like I'm insulting the man's intelligence. I'm not. I watched Josh Allen play that game yesterday, Scotty, and it's like the dude has rocks in his head at times. The turnovers are baffling. The fumble at the goal line, the announcers and broadcasters tried to make every excuse in the world for Josh Allen, and how it was on the off. He extended his arm for the center extended his arm further than he stopped the interception to end the game. He had a guy wide open underneath to pick up a first down. Instead, for no reason at all on first down, throws one to the end zone at the goal line in double coverage. And then, getting to the point on the first interception, man has an injury. He hasn't practiced all week. People were questioning how long he'd be out. He throws an interception, Scotty. Tries to make a play. And while the guy's already on the ground, Josh Allen throws his body into him and hurts himself. Now, he comes back in the game, but he hurt himself. I watch him and I can't, dude, what are you doing? To me, that's not MVP, dude. That's not Super Bowl champ. I watch this dude play in the big moments, and the stats are there, right? Over 400 total yards, some big-time throws. He has costed his team a win for 2 straight weeks. He alone is the reason they are now in 3rd place in their own division.
I can't go that far, man. I can't go that far.
He is costing the game the last 2 weeks.
They couldn't stop Justin Jefferson, though. That's an issue. their defense is supposed to be able to stop one player. Like, that's a Buffalo Bills defense. We're talking about a top 3 defense consensus, right? And they could not stop one player. Not to mention, Dalvin Cook ran up and down on him as well.
I feel
that's
you.
indictment
I
as well.
really do feel you. But hold on. Yeah, they couldn't stop Justin Jefferson. I feel you. The game was over if you don't fumble the quarterback sneak. The game was over. There was 45 seconds left. The game is over if you don't. That's Josh Allen's fault. Secondly, they held Minnesota to 3 in overtime. You drove your offense right back down the field. You, instead of picking up the first down with the easy throw into double coverage at the goal line and end the game. That's on Josh Allen. I feel you, dude. Justin Jefferson and that catch.
This whole team is like underwhelming, though. Like, is what I'm trying to say. Like, yes, I get it. The turnovers at the end of the game, yes. But as an overall product, you get up by that many points against the Minnesota Vikings. Why are they able to come back? It's on the whole team when you get to that point.
When you are looked at as, in some people's eyes, the best quarterback in the game, and you just mentioned the interception numbers over 3 weeks. He now is the league leader in interceptions.
Yeah, he's crowned way too early. I will say that.
And
as far as like, I honestly, I look at him. Honestly, it looks like he has like Brett Favre syndrome, where he like thinks he can do like these miraculous things, and
he can
like he can do so much that he like thinks he can play outside of his body and outside of his limitations almost to a fault. Yeah, on the catch, that is. So the one corner was beating himself up. I mean, it was a hell of a catch. You can't beat yourself up too much.
I don't know how he was physically capable.
Like, how his arm's strong enough to like come down and like take it from him as well. I do feel that, though, they should have knocked it down. But to your point, Josh Allen, I'm not trying to make excuses for him either. At the end of the day, he should be the difference in you winning, and he should not be a detractor. That is the problem right now, and I feel you on that. And you can just stop all the noise with, the Patrick Mahomes stuff. Like, right now, it ends right now, literally. Yep. And you can even argue in your division, brother. Like, Tua is balling right now. He's making better decisions. He's having, and
Miami is already
at a higher level. Year. Yeah, and they beat him. Like, yeah, to your point. So I mean, you could argue Tua is a higher MVP candidate than Josh Allen right now. So
I think he is. And it's crazy how that changes in over a 2-week span. But I think it's gone that drastically one way and the other, where Tua's come back from that injury and he's put up catastrophic numbers.
The difference in the Dolphins, with Tua back.
Yes.
Yeah, you're spot on right there.
And I get it. The dude played through injury, and I'm not trying to like mock him for making a play, but brother, like,
it's bonehead.
It's not like you stopped a pick six because you brought him down and you hurt yourself. The dude was already touched down, and you just threw your big body into him, arm first. Like,
and he was still running like
times, man. I'm like, bro, what are you trying to accomplish right here? So I feel you. And to bring our Eagles into the conversation, it's just funny at this point, right? Yeah. Like, is it not funny where that Vikings win meant nothing to so many people for so long? Oh, and now people still try to say, oh, well, Kirk Cousins in prime. Like, Kirk Cousins just forgot how to play football.
That is not a viable excuse.
No.
All playoff games are in prime time national television. So, like, what are we talking about?
Like, I hate it, man. But now, like, it's starting to make a little more sense. Like, people might start to take the Eagles a little bit more seriously.
That's what I'm
it doesn't matter. Like, level of competition, it doesn't matter, man. You drop 2 games in a row to the Jets and the Vikings at home, like, you're out of the conversation.
Too. And to your point, when you just look at decision-making alone, Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen, you just said it yourself. Josh Allen leads the league in interceptions. Jalen Hurts has literally 2 interceptions. It's decision-making, man. That's kind of been the difference this season all around.
So that's game 1 that I really wanted to go over.
That's game of the year, so it's hard to go up from here.
It is. And that's the thing about Josh Allen, man. He's exciting, right? Like, he
is exciting, yeah.
Regular season game of the year so far. He's been involved in it.
Yeah.
Greatest playoff game, greatest game I've ever witnessed with my own 2 eyes against Patrick Mahomes. He was involved in it. Like, the dude's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think I just get so fired up about it because I can't put him in that light. KC coming with the big take.
The Heat.
Josh Allen and Dak. The same player. Abe,
Hey,
what's going on,
the
my
big
man?
numbers. I get it, though. I get the comparison, man. You got to win the big games. I get it. They have 2 regular season wins over Kansas City. Those are the biggest wins to Josh Allen's name, and there's something wrong with that. You should have playoff wins by now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well, let's take KC's kind of segue there and let's get into the other game of the week, another game
yeah,
that went to overtime with a late fourth quarter comeback. Green Bay, Dallas, 31-28 in overtime off the foot of Mason Crosby. Dak turning the ball over, 2 interceptions. I saw Cowboys Twitter and a lot of
asking
people
for
were all
Cooper.
riled up about the quarterback controversy they've created down there in Texas. But nonetheless, again, we want to talk contenders and we want to talk strength of schedule, and I'm going to find a way to bring the Eagles in this conversation as well. Everyone wants to mock the Eagles schedule, but now here you have the Cowboys who this defense, wait till Dak's back, 14-point lead in the fourth quarter. And you blow it to a team that was on a 5-game losing streak that has no Scotty. How many weeks in a row have we come on here and talked about these wide receivers for Green Bay and talked about Aaron Rodgers' offense and they can't score more than 14 points, more than 17 points? 31.
Got the ball ran down their throat.
And I have to go back here. It's tough for me, but let me see if I can kind of bring up some recency stuff here. When are we going to stop talking about Dallas being this elite defense? The first couple weeks of the season were cool, man, right? They were cool. The pass rush, it was all nice. You gave off 31 to Green Bay, whose offense was anemic, right? You are coming off. Was Dallas on the bye last week? Dallas was on the bye in week 9.
Yeah.
Go to week 8. I'm pretty sure that was the Chicago week. I'm looking for it right now as we speak. You gave up 29 to Chicago.
240 rushing yards to Chicago.
Was week 7 the Eagles week?
No. They played, I think it was the Lions.
They gave the the Lions 6, and then you played the Eagles and you gave up 26 against the Eagles. So 3 of the last 4 weeks you have given up 26 once and over 30 twice. Yep. You have a quarterback problem now. I don't view it as a problem. I know he turned the ball over 2 times.
The conversation's coming back. It's a bad thing for Cowboys.
So I guess my point here is talk to me about how this was so anti-Dallas and not pro-Green Bay, right? Like, was any of it really pro? I didn't watch any of that game and be like, you know what? Green Bay's turning a new leaf here. Like, I just looked at it like, oh, thank you, Cowboys.
Look, there's a little bit of positivity that Green Bay can obviously take from this. A big comeback, right? They got Christian Watson involved. He got 3 touchdowns. They were able to run the football, which we've been hammering the table for Green Bay to just run the damn football all season for their own sake, right? But in reality, this is Dallas. This is on Dallas. My boy Hunter, he's not in the comments right now.
Right?
But he was texting me. He was texting me, man, and he said, we're going to blow this just like Dallas always does. And he's right. But what I will say, Dallas now has a glaring weakness. It's as big as the ocean, and it's the run defense. And that is the worst case scenario for Dallas Cowboys in a division with not only the Eagles, but the New York Giants, who are running the ball really well right now as well.
Scott, do you know Dallas gets to go and play this week?
The Eagles.
Do you know who they get to go and play this week?
Minnesota. Good luck. Dalvin Cook, good luck, man. And look, Dak Prescott, 4 games he's played this season, 214 yards per game, 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and a 52.8 QBR. Cooper Rush QBR, 61.5, 9 points higher than Dak Prescott's in the 4 games that he's played. So it's a conversation. It's nothing. I'm not saying Cooper Rush, Dak, it's not my business. I don't care. It's a conversation. It's popping back up on national media. And it is the best case scenario for me as an Eagles fan to see all of this happening right now with the Dallas Cowboys. But looking at that glaring weakness in the defense, I all we see is red now, I feel, man, because we're going to run the ball down their goddamn throat. And that's what every single team it should look to do, because how do you cancel out pass rush? You run the football down their throat. I was just going to
bring that up.
That's an issue, right? So they've allowed over 200 rushing yards the last 2 games they played. Obviously, Green Bay was able to get off Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon. They were able to do whatever they want. But the blown lead on top of it, like not only was the Packers able to come out and run the football and do their thing there, you did get a 14-point lead, and you blew it. You blew a lead to the Green Bay Packers, who had lost 5 straight, man.
Their offense was anemic. Their offense was effing anemic the entire season. And you let them score more points in the fourth quarter and overtime than they had scored the entire game for like 3 straight weeks, it feels like. And your point is spot on about if that's the weakness. And it's not just like, oh, they don't do this too well. No. They're getting it ran down their throat. Yeah. And what does it do? It alleviates their biggest strength, their best quality defensively, and that is pinning their ears back and getting after the quarterback, right, in that pass rush.
Exactly.
Micah Parsons had to play a lot of actual linebacker yesterday.
Middle linebacker yesterday, right? That's
exactly where you want him if you're the opposing team.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's huge. And I'll again, man, I'll take it back to the coach, and listen. I'm not making excuses for Dak. I think it's a beautiful thing when he comes in and turns the ball over and throws 2 picks. But what did we talk about, Scotty? What was Hunter in the comments saying when Dak was starting to make his way back to the team? Play the same style of football. You don't need to change, and Dak's talent over Cooper Rush can just amplify what you do well. Now, Mike McCarthy with a 14-point lead yesterday, his run-to-pass ratio was 46 passes to 22 rushes. Over double of the offense was through the air with Dak Prescott. That's not your script. That is not your game plan to success.
Yeah.
With a 2-possession lead, Scotty, they weren't trailing. You were winning a majority of the second half.
Pollard running the ball well.
Sense, man.
Pollard running the ball well. 22 carries, 115 yards, a touchdown. Make that make sense, and the crazy thing is CeeDee Lamb had a great game, right? But they were so far off track as far as where Dak was going in certain situations, what he was doing. I mean,
but let me play devil's advocate for a second, right? Because Dak is obviously not off the hook with the turnover problem and the 2 interceptions. If you're Mike McCarthy, I'm not saying it should be that imbalanced because it's more important to win games than look at money. Yeah. But if you're Mike McCarthy, they didn't pay Dak Prescott to manage a balanced offense and have to play away from his weaknesses. Yeah. They paid Dak Prescott the big-time quarterback money to be the franchise guy and get them over that hump and into the playoffs. So if the more responsibility equals more turnovers and less success, that's an indictment on the quarterback and the indictment on Jerry and the franchise to move forward in that direction.
He's looking more like a detractor. That's a problem, man. That's a problem. And this is a Green Bay defense, once again, that is not that good. We thought they were good coming into the season, right? We thought they would be a great unit. They have been very underwhelming as a unit themselves and able to turn the Cowboys over that much. Mind you, the Cowboys still put up 28 points, but I would say, on both sides, well, Green Bay gets that W. Does that scare me as an Eagles fan of Green Bay per se? They've got to go and host Tennessee on Thursday Night Football this week, and then we get them back in Philly. I just, I'm not sure that even sways me as far as thinking any different about Green Bay going forward. They were down 14 points in this game at one point, and Dallas somehow allowed them to get back in the game. It really doesn't. It makes sense, I guess, from a standpoint of Dallas just not being as good as everybody is saying they were. So. That defense looking very overrated the last few weeks, I would say.
Yeah, man. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? It is a beautiful, beautiful
tides
thing.
Change. He's definitely missing Amari, KC. He's definitely, and anybody would be missing Amari right now because he is a wide receiver 1.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have traded him for a bag of balls.
Yeah. 5th round pick, bro. What? Amari Cooper. I was down on Amari Cooper, but I thought you could get more than a 5th round pick. I would just keep him at that point. But
yeah, man.
Michael Gallup, right? That's the guy.
It is interesting. All right, let's go across the pond to Munich, Germany. Tampa Bay, Seattle, Tom Brady and the Bucs, 21-16 victory. 2 straight for Thomas. once the divorce became legal, I don't know, maybe some pressure off him, maybe some weight off his shoulder now that it's actually
Glad that's
filed and
over.
gone through. But I guess my biggest question for you, it's not so much on Seattle. It's back to Tom and the Bucks. Have you seen anything over the last 2 weeks to make you think, okay, they're starting to put things together, they're starting to come alive and come together? And as an Eagles fan, do the Bucks worry you in a case of potentially being a first round matchup for the Eagles?
It's a great question, honestly, because I'm kind of in between on the Bucks right now. Do they worry me from an Eagles standpoint as a number 1 seed? No, I'm not 100% sure that they would get out of the first round, quite honestly, if they made it in as a 4 seed. I'm not 100% sure that they would make it. As far as them kind of turning the tide and finding something that can kind of work for them going forward, running the football, they finally got to that. And ultimately, the defense finally stepped up as far as stopping the run, making the Seattle offense one-dimensional. So that's a vote of confidence, I would say, for the Bucks. Obviously, you get 2 wins in a row. The Rams, we see what the Rams are right now. That's not a great win, especially when it was 16-13 or something. They're not scoring the ball well, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Their offense is still not a scary offense. It's not an offense that, would put fear in my heart, just because their offensive line is just very underwhelming. Honestly, it's not a very good unit. And it can be God. It can be God against a good defensive line, and we've seen it all season. But Seattle, nonetheless, that's a good win for Tampa Bay. 2 in a row now. They're in the right. They're on the right trend. They're in the right direction. But as far as contending with the top teams of the NFC, I mean, I guess it depends where you draw that line of top teams. As we saw with Dallas, now you know what I mean. But Vikings, Eagles, class of NFC, even the 49ers, if they can get things going the way I think they should.
I agree with you. I would probably cap the teams at 3. I would say those are the 3 specific teams in the NFC. Yeah. Not Green Bay, not Dallas, not the Giants, not Tampa Bay, not Seattle, not the Rams. I don't view any of those teams in that light.
It's crazy.
I don't really
NFC West, right? Isn't that so crazy?
I know.
The Rams. Well, I guess the 49ers, but
it's supposed to be one of the best divisions in all of the NFL. But I think it kind of goes back to this, man. It's what we've been talking about for a couple weeks. It's a great point by KC. Tom was 22 for 29, and I know I don't like to use the word simplify when it comes to the greatest of all time. You don't need to simplify anything for him, but at this point of his career and the way your offense was playing and producing, it never made sense to me for that offense to be throwing the ball 48, 50 times a game like they were for multiple weeks in a row. You get Tom down to that 30 range, the offense seems to be a lot more productive. Now, granted, they only scored 21. It's not like they ran away with this game and ran the score up on Seattle. They didn't have a ton of success, but they found a way to win. But I agree with you. I don't view them in that light just yet.
Still a few question marks.
Quarterback, you start this defense and Tom start to put things together throughout the rest of the season. They probably will be a team no one wants to see. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's a good way to put it.
Division winner is not going to want to see them.
Am I scared of the Bucks? No, but do I want to see them in our first playoff game?
I want to play Tom Brady in the first round. Yeah, exactly. No, that's not what I envision as my if the Eagles get the 1 seed.
Did you see that? Did you see the play
when he fell?
The Leonard Fournette throw to Tom.
Oh, yeah. And when he slipped. Yeah. I don't know why they keep trying to run it. I really don't.
That dog.
I have no idea why.
Tom Brady, why?
Play to Tom. But you real quick, you brought up a little side point there with the top teams in the NFC.
Yeah.
San Fran, they come away with a win last night, Sunday Night Football over the Chargers. But there's a story within the game that I want to. What is Kyle Shanahan doing? What's happening? Elijah Mitchell. Let me say that name again for you.
Yeah.
Elijah Mitchell comes back from injury recently, and he gets 18 carries to Christian McCaffrey's, what do you have, 13?
14.
14?
But still.
A lot. No, okay, you're only, 3 weeks into the McCaffrey trade? I don't know. But I would assume when
not a guy I'm having split carries, man.
when you trade for one of the league's best, he should probably get the bulk of the carries.
Maybe they're trying to preserve him, but he's not even splitting carries. He got out carried.
Yeah,
That's kind of the crazy.
Wasn't it 16 to 15 or 18 to 17? Oh, he's talking about the trip. He's talking about the trip.
Okay. I was
looking at the comments as well. But it's just like I'm watching that, and then I wasn't catching the end of the game, but I saw someone had tweeted about it. I guess they were on the goal line. San Fran was,
yeah,
and they ran the ball to Elijah Mitchell 3 straight plays or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
but then I guess my point is, if he's beat up, why is he still getting 17 touches? Because he or 18 touches because he caught like 4 passes as well. So like you know what I mean? Like if he's beat up and you have the insurance in Elijah Mitchell, let him rest. To me, I've never understood the 50-50 stuff, the limit him in action. Like
honestly, the running back situations around the league are starting to confuse me, man. I'll be honest with you. Like, not even just CMC. You could look across the field, and Austin Eckler gets 6 carries somehow last night. Like, these are like top 5 running backs we're talking about. CMC, Austin Eckler, DeAndre Swift. I mean, don't get me started on that guy.
Yeah, that one. Matt, with Javonte Williams before his injury.
Yeah, Javonte Williams not getting the bulk of the carry. So very weird that, just the guys that I think are top talents, maybe I'm just way off in evaluating running backs or the way they're used, but just head scratching. When you have
I'll say this. I guess my point of this conversation was not only what the F is Kyle Shanahan doing. My point is also, like, if I told you for the last 2 weeks, ever since they made that CMC trade, as long as they're healthy offensively and that defense gets their pieces back, I view San Fran as the biggest threat to the Eagles in the NFC to get to the Super Bowl. If that's how Kyle Shanahan is going to utilize CMC, I don't view it that way. Hey, if I'm the opposing team and I see CMC on the sideline and you want to run, I know Elijah Mitchell had success. I think he averaged just around 5 yards per rush last night. Like, he's not no slouch, but it's a win if Christian McCaffrey's not on the field. So if Kyle Shanahan continues to not, utilize that to his advantage, then no, I don't view San Fran in that light.
It's just weird, if it was like a playbook thing or like kind of getting him, ingrained in the offense. Because like Elijah Mitchell just came back from injury.
Exactly.
And he just out carries him. So like that just doesn't make sense.
And not to mention, like 3-4 weeks is enough time. Like 3 weeks is enough time.
Yeah.
It's the first week, and they had a bye week, I'm pretty sure. Like it's enough time to get, and he's not a wide receiver. He's not an offensive lineman that needs to know everything. He's a running back.
And he looks good when he's running the ball, man. He looks like he's got some juice. I don't know. I don't know if it's like a decoy type of thing, or I really don't know what they're trying to set up there. I would trust Kyle Shanahan, I guess. I would trust it, but it is a little head scratching.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing, right? We're like almost trained to trust these guys that haven't really like I know Sean McVay won a Super Bowl last year, so this sounds weird to say, but like we're just supposed to trust Sean McVay and his offensive capabilities and play calling.
All the flaws that he's shown over his career.
Look what the Rams are going through this year. Now, I know they obviously have issues on the offensive line, and Stafford's been banged up. He didn't play yesterday, but like we're just supposed to trust these guys. Now, let me get to the last game I want to talk about, and the guy I don't.
Well, I wanted to ask you.
Go ahead.
Any thoughts on the Chargers in this one, man?
Yeah, it's just, to me, the Chargers are fraudulent. They really are. Anytime they get tasked with an opponent that they could see in a big game, or other playoff teams, they come up short. They have yet to prove they can beat the Chiefs. They just lost to San Fran.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert gets held to under 200 passing yards. Again, like that's another guy, Brandon Staley. Like we're supposed to trust the young head coach. Right. You mentioned it. Austin Eckler, 6 effing carries.
It's weird.
What are we doing here?
That's a malfunction. That's a virus. There's something
We
wrong
say this
there.
a lot with the Sixers and Doc Rivers, right? It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
rocket
It's
science.
malpractice, man.
And so getting to this other game, I guess to the point of it's not rocket science. Like these dudes overthink things so much, and it's
Yeah.
one game against the fraudulent Raiders. So take this with a grain of salt. But maybe is this proof in the pudding that it's not rocket science?
Give the ball to Jonathan Taylor.
Give the ball to Jonathan Taylor.
Start Matt
Don't
Ryan.
bench Matt Ryan for Sam Ellinger. Like Matt Ryan had struggled for the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season, but he honestly started to play better football, Scott. He got benched when they were 3-3-1. It didn't make a lot of sense at the time.
Didn't make any
Jonathan
sense,
Taylor,
man.
22 carries, 147 yards. Matt Ryan, 21 of 28, 222 yards. They came away with a win. So my point is, like, it's not rocket science, right?
It
and
really
then
is.
You have this other dude that he needs to be gone, man. I don't like calling for people's livelihoods and but we do it here in Philly. Fire Doc.
Yeah. He's got to go, man.
Gone, and he needs to never get another head coaching job in the NFL at this level again.
He's got to go. And that's what I was saying kind of yesterday on Turf Talk before we were going into that game. If just Saturday comes out, no coaching experience, just gets these guys, comes out with a basic game plan, starts Matt Ryan, gets the ball to Jonathan Taylor, and beats the Las Vegas Raiders in Las Vegas. Colts just fired their head coach, hired a guy without any head coaching experience in the NFL, and you lose to them, you need to be fired, especially given the rest of the circumstance, right, that's surrounding this team. But nonetheless, the Colts, it's so interesting to see them win that game that way. And nonetheless, they do have the Eagles coming to town next weekend, so we're going to really find out if Jeff Saturday has made a difference there. But the Colts, it's so funny how that played out, because it's funny. Samuel Charles in the comments, he's a Raiders fan, and we were talking about this yesterday, and I just had this eerie feeling that the Colts were going to win that game somehow, and they certainly did, man. The Raiders really do stink. They really do stink. For as much talent as they have, I don't know where you go next with them, man. I don't know what the next step is, because you have Derek Carr. Is it his fault? Is it not his fault? What can he do better? Do you put more weapons around Derek Carr? What do you do next, to make this team better? You get the head coach out. You get a good head coach in there, maybe, but I don't see what the next step is for the Las Vegas Raiders. You have Josh Jacobs on an expiring contract. He's led the league in rushing at one point this season. You're going to lose him, obviously. I don't know where they go next. What did you think about the post-game press conference from Derek Carr? And
I was just going to bring this up. I was just going to bring this up to you. Stop, bro. Stop getting emotional, talking about how you put your body through so much. What do you want people to feel bad for your sorry ass team? We're like as if
shed a tear for you.
Do you think Texans fans like Davis Mills is stepping to the podium after every week saying you don't know what we put our bodies through? It's easy to poke for. Stop, bro. And I like Derek Carr. I think he seems like a genuinely good dude. I think he's underrated as a quarterback in this league. But my God, you come out and you lose to Jeff Saturday. Your team's 2-7, brother. 2-7. You made the playoffs last year. You made the playoffs last year, and you added one of the best wide receivers in football. You added around you to go out and elevate your team. You are 2-7, and your takeaway is to try to get people to feel for you guys.
Yeah,
you tried to pull we're just humans. We put our bodies through so much day in and day out. It's not going our way. But trying to make people feel bad for the players and deflect the 2-7 record.
Miss me with that, man.
How much you get paid, bro?
Right, millions. How much
Davante Adams getting?
Get out of here, man.
You better go win some damn games and stop telling me that's hard to sleep at night.
And mind you, man, Davante Adams is out there playing hard as hell, bro. If you watch the Raiders play just for a little bit, you're viable to see Davante Adams making a play. Yep, that's it right there. And there's several coaches that fall under that tree, right, that have had similar results.
It's crazy, bro.
This is all relevant.
I'm
Thank you
so
for the
happy you brought
comments.
that up because I was waiting for you to I was literally going to say, I don't know if you heard Derek Carr in the post-game press conference.
Yeah.
But yo, he teared up. I was like, what are we doing here, dude?
Yeah.
I
don't
he
know
didn't
what he was
sustain
going
an
for there.
injury mid-game. Devontae Adams didn't get knocked out like Juju did in the Chiefs game, and you lost, and you're like, you see what we put our butt now? No one feels bad for you.
This is
dude.
what we get. It's you did lose the game. I don't know what to tell you, my man. I just don't know what he wanted from that.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither. And I don't know what the question
don't even do the
was.
press conference.
Did you get the question or no? I don't know what the question was asked for him to respond with that.
Yeah, I'm not.
But my whole takeaway of that clip was him trying to deflect away from the record and the poor performance, and just try to make people bring down the emotions and kind of make them feel bad for you because you work hard.
No.
Result-driven product, brother.
Raiders fans, say no to that. No, we do not feel bad.
All right, Scotty, let's do some improv on the show here for KC.
Fair enough.
Revised QB rankings. All right, hold on. Before this, Casey, you let us know. Am I doing this based the top 5? Who's playing top 5 football in the moment, or is it who's playing top 5 right now and I'm looking forward, or am I just going MVP numbers right now? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Am I putting Geno Smith in my top 5 quarterbacks?
Yeah.
Right now? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Am I keeping Josh Allen at number 2 or 3, or is Josh Allen getting demoted a bit because of the recent performance? All right, hold on. Let's go here. Now to forward. Well, Patrick Mahomes is number 1.
Yeah.
You have to have Jalen Hurts in the conversation, no?
Yeah, he's in the combo. I'm just thinking now to forward, are we just thinking so we're talking about Hall of Fame votes, potential doesn't matter. Okay, so just now in rest of the season, basically. Is that what I'm understanding?
Just this season. Yeah. All right.
So I would go Mahomes,
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Tua,
yeah. I would probably go Tua at that point.
Am I really not going to say Josh Allen?
I would put him right after Tua right now. After the last 2 weeks, I would put Josh Allen right after Tua. Before that, I would have probably put him over Tua.
And then where am I going from there? It would either have to be Lamar or Joe Burrow. No?
Yeah, I would probably. I'm leaning Joe Burrow in my head.
He's got Burrow in his. Mahomes, Hurts, Tua, Allen, and Burrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would agree with that. I think Lamar's bubble right now.
Lamar right outside. Who else, though?
Let me throw a name at you guys. Kirk? He's they're 8-1.
Yeah, man. I mean, you got to give him his credit. You do. You really do.
Justin Jefferson doesn't just get the ball out of the backfield.
I know. He makes some crazy things happen, but it is Kirk Cousins getting him the ball. You got to give him some credit. And the Vikings are, 8-1 now, I believe. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I would say Kirk Cousins. What's his touchdown interception ratio? Let's see. 14-8. 8 interceptions.
Yeah, Abe going no.
Not over those 5.
Yeah, I can't over those, and I can't put him over Lamar either.
Yeah.
Win pride.
Is this a thing, man? Honestly, I don't. I know it's a funny joke towards Kirk Cousins, but and it is in the numbers. I know that's true too. He literally does not win in prime time, weirdly enough. But
that was the one thing I was going to bring up. Not with the quarterback situation, but kind of with Matt Ryan coming back now. Do people realize the Colts can still make the playoffs? Did Jim Irsay miss that memo? When he decided to push forward the Sam Ehlinger thing, they got impatient. They're 4-5-1, and if you look at the landscape of the AFC, wild card wise, obviously you got the East, which is loaded, which could have 2 of its own wild cards, but the Bengals are 5-4. Tennessee in their own division 6-3, and then after the Chiefs in the West, the Chargers are 5-4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like,
very much
outside of for a wild card standpoint, they're right there.
Do you think it's do you think maybe Frank Reich got fired because of the Sam Ellinger move? Like maybe that was like the final straw.
No.
No,
I think that move came from the top.
And bro,
and I think Frank Reich was getting
what's up with is it Irsay that's in there every single post game, like giving the game like way too much hands on from my perspective, man.
I agree.
That's way too much hands on.
Yes,
Watson coming back to the Browns.
Yeah.
How fast can Watson get back in his groove and start to look like the top 10 quarterback that he was before this?
Is it weird to you? So that's another game that sticks out from yesterday. The Browns got absolutely smacked.
Yeah, man.
By Miami and Tua.
Impressive win by Miami, by the way.
Yeah, I that's my point. Coming to this, I think the hope was kind of, not that anybody's a big Jacoby Brissett fan, but the hope that the Browns had a roster that could at least stay afloat and be competent until Watson came back. They're 3-6, dude. They are just about as out of a playoff spot as you could get in the AFC right now. So him coming back doesn't even mean anything to me. Like, I don't know. Am I wrong for feeling that way? Like they're not going to finish 11-6.
No, I don't think you're wrong for feeling that way. I mean, there's obviously a chance. I would have to look at like the rest of their schedule and stuff, but as far as me looking at that as like a light at the end of the tunnel for Cleveland, it's just not that, because I think even with him coming back week 10, right? He comes back next week, I guess. So yeah, it's going to take him 2 to 3 weeks to get really acclimated with the NFL. Like not only the offense, the playbook, play calling, the scheme, everything that goes into being a quarterback and leading a team, but also just the speed of the NFL. Like he's going to get hit for the first time in 2-3 years. So it's going to be interesting to see just how he kind of can bounce back and see if he's actually still good.
Yeah, it was 100% a move from the top down. And that is interesting, Abe. I didn't think about what they could potentially not have to give Matt Ryan. But here's the Browns schedule moving forward, Scotty. You got at Buffalo week 11. So but Watson's not back yet. So you got at Buffalo week 11. You're going to be 3-7. You got Tampa Bay week 12.
Bounce back. Yeah.
You got Tampa Bay week 12. Then Watson's week 13, right? That's when he can come back. Oh yeah, the Texans game is when he can come back. So you're probably looking at 2 more losses by the time he comes back. You're definitely losing in Buffalo.
Oh, 10 games suspend, not 10 weeks suspension.
Yeah.
10 games. I got you.
He's back. He's back week 13, but he can start practicing soon. So when
Buffalo,
he comes back,
and then who?
Buffalo, then Tampa.
Yeah. So I mean, they should lose to Tampa. They should lose to Tampa.
Then when he comes back, they have at Houston. That'll be a win. At Cincinnati, home versus Baltimore. Home versus the Saints, at Washington, at Pittsburgh. So, I mean, there's a potential they could finish on a 3-game win streak. That would give them 6. I mean, to me, I don't see where they surpass 8 and 9, and that would be he would have to be almost perfect to go 8 and 9 down the end.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I just don't see him coming back and just like going to town and becoming an MVP candidate.
But he hasn't played football since when?
Be crazy. That would be insane for him to come back and like play at like a top 10 quarterback level.
Also, like, no offense, I've learned some things about Browns fans throughout the year. Like, you got some weirdos in Cleveland, bro, with all the T-shirts that people were making and wearing and handing out.
It's one thing to like, I guess, like not disown the team as a fan and like still root for the Browns and like be a Browns fan, but like to go, like you said, and make these T-shirts of like jokingly
like endorsing it, like
that's
weird
behavior,
man.
And it shouldn't be like spread around. You know what I mean? Yeah. It should be closed off, and it shouldn't be allowed in the stadium and all.
Now I'm pretty sure they banned those people, those fans, but
good. That's wrong, man.
Any other storylines, takeaways you have from yesterday's slate before we wrap up the show? Like we said, if you're watching here with us now, guys, come hang out with myself, Scotty, and potentially the Beard at 7 p.m. here on our YouTube channel for Eagles pregame live as they take on the Washington Commanders tonight. Yeah, Abe, it's like grown men. And the weirdest part was like the picture of the dad with his little son, and they were
Yeah.
holding the shirts up like
Yeah, you got your son promoting that at an age he doesn't even fully
weirdos in
understand
Ohio,
what's going
bro.
on.
Weirdos in Ohio. But
Absolutely.
any other situation you're looking at,
Um
I could talk Justin Fields with you for days.
Somehow the Lions put up 31 points and they didn't use DeAndre
Yeah.
Swift at all, but now Justin Fields, man, he's fun. I should say
He's
he's fun.
fun. I'm with
I don't
it.
know if he's
I
going to
am
be a
with
good
that.
quarterback, but he's a fun player, and I
can
picked him up in a bunch of fantasy leagues. He's dropped 40 the last
I
2
can get
weeks.
behind that statement. He's fun. He's entertaining. He's a hell of a football player. He's athletic. He's strong. He will run you over. Watching him escape sack after sack, the one for the touchdown the other day,
That was
the
crazy, yeah.
67-yard rushing touchdown was
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah.
He's got a lot of talent. He's 12 for 20, 167 passing yards and an interception.
Airing it out, bro.
I don't know.
Airing
I
it
don't know.
out.
I can't get excited about it.
Fun guy Fields. That's a good way. He out there running for his life, man. It is fun to watch, but it's wrong. I feel like
I don't know. Like, and this isn't like
well.
this is different than the Lamar stuff or Jalen Hurts when people view athletic mobile quarterbacks and say, well, you know how people call them run. Like, no, this is different to me because I've seen him make a couple really good throws.
Yeah.
I've also seen horrific decision making.
Yeah.
Horrible throws.
His decision making cost him that game yesterday. That Jeffrey Okudah pick six. I mean,
I don't know. I mean, how about this? Can you at least give me a 200-yard passing game?
We can start there.
Can you give me like an 18 for 32, 212 yards through the air, no interceptions before like I start to get excited about the future in Chicago? He's fun to watch. It's entertaining as hell.
Fair enough.
I am not the biggest Justin Fields fan in terms of going forward with Chicago.
Detroit's won 2 games in a row.
Dude, that you just let that slip my mind. By the way, he lost the game. Like they lost,
and he was probably a big reason why with the pick six, man, at the end of the game. So I mean, it's not all gravy for Justin Fields in Chicago. Last 2 weeks, he's balled out with his legs, and they've lost both games. So I mean, it's not the greatest from that standpoint, but from fantasy, really nice. Really nice.
For my fantasy team, it's been a hell of a 2 weeks.
It's been a ride, man. It's been a ride. But Detroit, the two-game winning streak, man. They take on the Giants next week. Any chance?
No. Maybe.
I thought you were going to give me
I don't know. Because Detroit, that offense, man, they dropped 31 this past week.
Right?
You know, we talk about the talent they've surrounded Goff with. Obviously, they moved on from TJ Hawkinson, but Swift, Williams. Yeah, again, you talked about that. You talk about that every week.
I can't help it, man. It's mind-boggling.
It really is the usage for DeAndre Swift.
Bro, he came in yesterday. He had maybe like 3 or 4 carries in the game. He comes in, goal line, zoom into the end zone. Like, only time he touches the ball that I see the whole time, and he just goes into the end zone. So, like, I don't understand the usage, but that's Detroit, I guess.
Oh, you come hang out with us in 1 hour, and we're going to talk about this win streak.
Yeah, we'll get you real nice and set up for that.
In just over an hour. But, Scotty, with that being said, one hell of a show. Thank you so much to everyone who viewed and commented along. Obviously, your comments make the shows more fun each and every week. But that is going to wrap up this Monday edition of NFL Turf Talk, and NFL Turf Talk and DSM Media is proudly brought to you by Gents Barber Lounge. Check out one of 2 great locations in Fishtown and Old City and book your appointment today. Gents owns the craft, and it shows. Rated the #1 barbershop on Yelp in the Philadelphia area, having multiple award-winning barbers and being able to handle any style of cut, adult or kid. Take a look at some of Gents' great work. You can check them out at gentsbarberlounge.com. Again, that is gentsbarberlounge.com to book your appointment today. Also, guys, check out our friends over at shopluxinen.com. At shopluxinen.com. Use promo code DSM for 25% off and free shipping. Again, at the bottom of your screen, it's promo code DSM, all caps, for 25% off at shopluxinen.com. For myself, for Scotty, for DSM Media, have a great rest of your night. See you in an hour.
Go Birds.
One-on-one.
Love it.